I might take my 50th year off
Yeah.
and go out to the Oregon coast more, go camp more,
Yeah.
and just fuck off more
That's awesome.
and not chase these paychecks like I've been chasing them. You know? Or how about this? Chase creative whatever. I mean, the moment I get off this wretched podcast, I have to go and make sure that that line goes smaller because I'm looking at it over in the corner of the icon. I put my desktop, like
Right.
this is a creative uh, sickness sometimes.
Mhm.
I love making things. I love, making stuff and making a dumb shirt. And if anything, like just celebrating geometry. Like, who makes their own shit and then wears their own shirt? Well, I don't want
Hey,
it to say, some Nike or some,
right.
fuck, I don't even know what else, Old Navy or some shit. But it's just sort of like, the idea that I've been in this position to make something dumb, sell a bunch of them to people. It's been very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
Well, it's a hard thing to manage when the thing you do that makes you a living is the thing you love to do almost the most in the world.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
how do you not let that just destroy you?
Well, yeah, wow.
That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I have a buddy back home. We'll talk, and I'll say, I'm having a rough go
Mm,
to the point where this guy just went through like a divorce,
mm,
and he was saying, he goes, you know what? I'm getting back on my feet. I've been through a little bit of a gauntlet, but what scared me the most was that I don't have a creative outlet right now,
mm.
and I don't, I'm gonna watch a bunch of Netflix and
Right.
exist and eat and you know defecate and just keep the cycle of life going. But it's like, there's somewhere there that, presses your buttons and gets weird or whatever you want to call it. And yet, when you don't have that, like that's terrifying to me because
Yeah.
I just see these flashes and it's like I see a graphic. I had a dream last night. Um, I recreated the graphic this morning. I was junking in a dream and I was like, that's a great looking button. Oh, the way they stack that.
Yeah,
And this morning I got up and sketched it out because it was just like,
that's awesome.
I don't want that to go away. It gave me that little buzz when
Yeah.
I'm out there in the world, when I'm junking, I find something and go, "Ooh, this little thing is just kick ass." Why is this little sun-kissed something or other? Because the logo is so
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I keep this within, within arm's length at all times because they're these reminders of some of the most pedestrian stuff that we grew up around
Yeah, really.
is beautiful. And yet, okay. So in my dream, here I am finding tchotchkes like this, and then I'll recreate them because it doesn't exist. It's just inside your dream. And then I'll get
Yeah.
up and there's just some magic there. So I'm real careful with that stuff with myself to make sure that I always have something to just enjoy
Yeah.
making. And if there is a buck to be made, well, kick ass. If there isn't, it's okay.
Right.
But I've been calling them my morning warm-ups because it just gets me into this zone of like, wow, I completed something.
Yeah.
Now, when you're working on the old Chris Stapleton, there's a lot of different factors, and sometimes things don't go as perfectly as they could go. There's a
Mm,
lot of professional people, tug of warring in a lot of different directions.
right.
And sometimes you feel a little beat up,
Mhm.
working with the client. But you step back and you go, man, I really enjoy his records. I really enjoy the fact that he isn't some creepy ass country guy who's singing about daddy's hands or whatever.
Yeah, right.
The shit sells.
Yeah.
But um, like I really appreciate being able to roll my sleeves up for someone like that. I
Yeah.
don't think it would be the same if it was some of these other things that make me squirm. So, whether or not there's a buck to be made, I don't think that's a dirty word. And I've been, you've heard me for years on a stage saying, you guys, this isn't just about a paycheck,
Yeah.
because how lucky are we to do this stuff? Someone doesn't feel that way at their job right in this second.
Yeah.
And I think you need to be aware of that and then savor that we're able to get away with the murder we get away with, you know.
It's so easy not to.